I dropped her off, knew she gave me three. I've been had this season, what you need, 4 feet, 4 feet. Made myself a G, 0 stripes, referee. Say what you got, baby, on the street.
Welcome to another lunchtime pod edition of the Young Genius Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Young Genius, and let's get it started. Another day, another dollar, another day on the grind. 3 days in a row, three lunchtime pods. I mean, it's got to be exciting, right? College football is starting up. I think tomorrow. I think we have some Division 3, Division 2. Today's Thursday. Week 0 college football. We know for sure on Saturday that UNC TCU is going to happen. USC San Jose State is going to happen. NC State Virginia. Let's just go through here and let's see who's going to win. We got Jackson State, North Dakota State, Hawaii, Stanford, Sacramento State, Eastern Michigan, New Mexico State, Florida State, and then Memphis, UNLV. Week 0 college football, this Saturday, August 29th. This is FBS football starting up. I mean, this is getting exciting. Let's see. Bill Belichick in the UNC Tar Heels versus a team that was in the national championship not too long ago. Actually, what was that, about 4 or 5 years ago? TCU was in the national championship 3 years ago, maybe. A long time ago. Let's see. If last year was Shador's rookie year, so that's a year. Then the year after that was his senior year, whatever you want to call it, with eligibility at that time. So that was about 4 years ago. TCU was in the national title. Shout out to Top Steez right there. This new song, End Zone, out now on all platforms. All right, UNC or TCU? Who we going with? UNC, TCU. A lot of people don't believe in Belichick. Okay. Okay. Here's my thing. I'm gonna go with, I want to believe in UNC. I really do. I really want to believe in UNC. I want to believe in what he's building out there. But this is a away game. I mean, it's an away game. It's in Dublin, right? The annual, week 0 game in Dublin. I don't know. This is one of the most preseason 50-50 toss-up games there is. I want to believe in UNC. I want to believe that Bill Belichick is going to improve his team coming into year 2 of the program, having a little bit more of his guys in the program, being able to run his system. But from what we've seen from Bill Belichick as of late, and I really want to believe in Bill Belichick. I really do. I think it would help my GOAT debate out a lot if Bill Belichick would actually become a good coach again. Right? Because he was a good coach at one point. Are we able to say that? Are we able to say that Bill Belichick was a good coach at one point? From what we're seeing now, good coaching usually doesn't just disappear. It doesn't usually just go away. He struggled his last couple of years in New England. We know that. He's struggling now at UNC. But he has an opportunity to right the ship here And UNC it's a blue blood basketball program. It's not a blue blood football program by any means of the definition. Um, if he can turn UNC around, you think he stays in UNC or does he go to a bigger school? Does he go to, you know, I'm not saying Florida's coach is going to do bad, but a bigger school like Florida, maybe a Penn State. Steve Sarkeesian's rope is getting less and less in Texas. If he can turn it around at UNC, does he go to a Texas? But we're getting ahead of ourselves right now, right? We don't even know if he's still a good coach or, as I asked to the chat, was he ever a good coach? I think that's the question. Let's go through their schedule last year. Played TCU last year. They started off hot, Gio Lopez and those guys, and they got blown out very fast. It got ugly quick. 48-14. And that was at UNC. Then they beat Charlotte, thankfully. Beat Richmond. And then got blown out to UCF. Blown out to Clemson. Edged to California. Edged by Virginia. Beat Syracuse. Beat Stanford. Lost to Wake Forest. Lost to Duke. Pretty good Duke team at that. A lot of people believed in Darian Mensah. And got blown out by NC State. This is a tough game. Toss-up game. Obviously, this year and last year are two different years. Right? We talk about the era of college football that we're in. Not only is it two different years, it's two different teams. Let's check out their recruiting class. See what they're bringing in. They brought in the number 22 overall class in the country with the composite number 19 class in the country and the number 52 portal class in the country. Does bringing good high school classes still matter? I know they matter in the SEC in terms of, fans buying into the system, fans seeing their money get put to use. Having a guy that's already on campus feels better than trying to depend on guys in the portal. I think most of the big programs want to build through high school and then patch up the holes with the portal. I think that's eventually what we'll get to. But right now, the portal is just too new. And, the rules that are put in place in terms of, one transfer and, 5 years of eligibility, 5 for 5, is still new. But we'll see. We'll see if coaches are able to do this. They brought in 6'5", 205, 4-star Travis Burgess. They brought in a 4-star receiver in CJ Sadler. I mean, they brought in the number 22 class, number 19 composite, according to 24/7 Sports. 40 commits. 40 new players brought in to that program. We know our team stories. I'm looking at Tennessee's class right now. I'm sorry, I just got. Let me show you guys. They got some talent. I mean, I like 6'5". Will he play? I like 6'4" receiver. All right. The portal is going to give us a better, you know, a better inkling into who's going to play. 6'8", 344. 4-star high school guy. Arkansas transfer. A Texas transfer tight end. Ohio State transfer tight end, 6'6", 250. Michigan State transfer corner. Another 6'4" receiver transfer. LSU transfer running back. LSU transfer kicker. Got some good schools. Are they getting these transfers from? 6'5", 220 Miles O'Neal from A&M. Is he likely to be the starting quarterback this year? Let's learn together. What's going on with North Carolina? Let's watch the game preview. What are we supposed to be?
It was the most points allowed in a game in Bill Belichick's head coaching career ever, tied for the second largest loss of his career. And as we know, there's a lot of scrutiny and a change of scenery potentially loading for this game. Grab your Guinness and your passport. We're headed to
last
the
year was
Air
bad.
Lingus College
Gio
Football
Lopez
Classic, kicking off in Dublin, Ireland, and to get you ready for the action. We once again welcome in our Cover 3 duo of Chip Patterson and Bud Elliott. Fellas, we are so excited going back to Dublin for the Aviva Stadium, or going to the Aviva Stadium, I should say, for another Week 1 showdown between TCU and UNC. And Chip, as mentioned, truly a game to forget a year ago if you were Bill Belichick. Did not go how he wanted to go in that first round. But now some pressure. So how hot truly is the seat for Bill Belichick as he goes into year 2?
How hot is the seat? The house is on fire, Haley. Are you kidding me? We've got a general manager who's on administrative leave. We've got a defensive coordinator who's on medical leave. We've got 40 true freshmen. We've got 30 players who just showed up from the transfer portal, a new offensive coordinator. I mean, everything just feels like it is drama and saga and ups and downs. And so, you know, I can't even think hot seat is the right application here, because Bill Belichick himself has a certain bit of leverage, and that leverage is a $10 million per year contract, the first 3 years of which are guaranteed. So the idea of moving on from someone or passing the hat around, well, guess what? They just had to pass the hat around to be able to be sure they had the resources to stock the daggone roster. Now, the roster itself.
Let's talk about guys being able to grab the play sheet. Bill Belichick is a coach that can grab the play sheet on defense. He can grab the play sheet on defense. Wow, Bill can't even get his son to coach the defense. Bill needs to coach the defense. Honestly. Bud Elliott is the king of hot takes. Not reliable. We just want to get some insight into the roster. You know, we took a look at their roster. They brought in a 6'5" quarterback from high school. They also brought in a 6'5" quarterback from the portal from A&M. We're trying to see who's going to start this game against TCU in Dublin. So we're watching the game preview. He needs to grab that play sheet. This is the question that I asked chat, and we're going to put a poll out about it. With what we're seeing now from Bill Belichick, right? Well, what we saw from Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, from what we're hearing about Tom Brady, and I'm not going to say like a roast is the most, reliable source of information, right? I'm not going to say that, but what the players were coming out and saying about Bill Belichick at the roast, around the roast, just what they say about Bill Belichick on the pods, what this, how do I say, this aura, I guess you could say, around Tom Brady and how he's talked about by his teammates and how he's revered by his teammates and people in that front office. Did Brady make Belichick? Was Belichick ever a good coach? It makes you start to wonder. Granted, he didn't have his guys in there last year. It's tough to win in the ACC, especially when you don't have your guys in and you bringing in 60, 70 guys. Out the portal last year. This year they bring in 40 guys. That's a lot of roster turnover. That's a lot of guys that you gotta get up to speed in terms of building championship habits. It's hard to do that overnight. So now these guys have had a summer with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's been able to target more of his guys specifically. They have pumped some money into the football program in Chapel Hill. We will see what happened. They have two of the biggest losses. Wow, look at that. Oh, they got NFL scores on here. What?
I do think is more well put together, let's say, than last year's team. And it was very hurtful to relive 48-14 because it was bad for Bill Belichick. It was bad for Chip Patterson. It was bad for about 65,000 North Carolina fans who thought when it was 7-0, they were on the verge of a breakthrough with the Super Bowl winning head coach. But what happened after that revealed how not structurally sound last year's roster was, and the inability to really.
We don't really want to hear about last year's roster. We want to hear about what are these guys going to do this year? Who are they starting? All right, that's what we got to figure out. Let's look at their schedule. Let's take a peek at their schedule, guys. Let's see. TCU. It's a winnable game. It's a winnable game. They started off hot last year, and they had like 4 turnovers. They were missing punt. Like, they had a lot of self-inflicted wounds last year. It's a winnable game against TCU. Will they win it in Dublin? It's a less of a time difference for them in TCU. Barely. By about an hour. This is a toss-up. It's a toss-up. I'm going to go with TCU. I'll go TCU winning this game. I'll go TCU winning this game by 10 points. TCU by 10 points. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if UNC pulled it out. East Tennessee State, I think that's a win. I hope it's a win for their sake. Clemson, probably a loss. And so now, 1-2 in 1-2 and 2-1 is very different, right? When you're in the team meeting and you're 2-1, you're a little bit more attentive. You're sitting up in your chair. Our season still matters. When you're 1-2, especially in college football, right, it's not the NBA. There's not 82 games. It's not baseball. Not 100 games. 14 games. 12 games in a regular season. Like, you don't want to be that team that's 1-2. But I think they start off 1-2, and maybe this starts the downfall because then they have Notre Dame, that's 1-3. Then you got Pitt. Pitt is going to be a tough game. After going 1-3, you probably go 1-4. Right? Like Bill Belichick, this is a must-win game for Bill Belichick. If they don't win this game, then there's going to be a lot of talks around UNC. I think this is the game when hot seat talks start to talk. And then you don't want to follow a 1-4 start with a loss to your rival. 1-5. They should beat Syracuse. Then you have Miami. 2-6. UConn, that should be a winnable game. 3-6. Louisville, 3-7. Virginia, it's winnable. Virginia, you know, they won some games they weren't supposed to. It ended up a place where they weren't supposed to be. I think they could beat Virginia. And NC State is probably going to be a loss again. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, they're going to go 4-8 again. They're going to go 4-8 again. Yeah, they're probably not going to be bowl eligible. This team is probably not going to be bowl eligible again. Wow. Yeah, that answers that question. I'm going TCU here. We got USC, San Jose State. I think this one's going to be a little bit quicker to decide who we think will win this game. I'm gonna go with USC. I like what USC has. I like their coaching staff. I like the job that he's done. They have a quarterback that, you know, everybody believes is going to be a first round pick, if not a second round pick, in Jaden Maiava. We know that Lincoln Riley is the quarterback whisperer. He's a quarterback whisperer. They have a lot of talent at USC. They spent a lot of money on that roster. I'm gonna go with USC on that one. By a lot. USC by a lot. I'm gonna say USC by, 30 points, 40 points. You call it. Should we get a schedule prediction going for USC? I got San Jose State. I think that's a win. Then they have Fresno State. I think that's a win. Should be 2-0. Louisiana Lafayette 3-0. Rutgers 4-0. And they play Oregon. Be a tough game. It's at home. Because they're at home, I'm gonna pick Oregon. I'm gonna pick Oregon 4-1. And they have Washington at home. I think they win that one 5-1. They got Penn State on the road, night game. I'm not sold on this Penn State roster. Especially Iowa State's roster. Do I think Iowa State is going to go in and beat Penn State at night? I mean, do I think Iowa State could handle beating USC 5-1 USC at night. I don't know. The fans, it does matter more in Happy Valley than it does at Iowa State. I'll go USC 6-1. Wisconsin 7-1. Ohio State. Wisconsin's not going to be a walkover though. Wisconsin's home. The game is to be determined. Maybe Wisconsin can surprise some teams and get a night game. And for USC after a bye, I'll go with USC. Ohio State or USC. USC is the home team. I think that could be an interesting game. I think that'd be an interesting game with college football playoff implications on it. I'm gonna pick Ohio State now. For now, this could change on the day of. So I have them 8-1 right now. Indiana at Indiana. I'm gonna go with Indiana. 8-2. Maryland. That's not gonna be a walkover with Malik Washington, but I think USC is a little bit more talented. Give me 9-2, and then UCLA. It's not gonna be an easy game. Possibly could be on Thanksgiving. Give me USC 10-2. It's a playoff season for those guys. Playoff season for those guys over at USC 10-2. Then we have NC State, Virginia. Early ACC matchup. Week 0 ACC matchup. That's early. I'm gonna go with NC State here. I like their quarterback. I think they're going to shock some teams this year. CJ Bailey has a lot of the scouts talking about the talent that he has. I'm surprised he stayed, honestly. Threw for 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. Ran for 215 yards and 6 touchdowns last year. And this was as a true freshman. I think CJ Bailey is the real deal. I think he helps them win this game and have a good season overall. Let's check out NC State's schedule. They got week 0 against Virginia. I'm going to go with NC State. Then they have Richmond. I'm going to go with NC State. Now, Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt, it'll be an interesting game. It'll be an interesting game for Vanderbilt. Also, going to be an interesting game for NC State. It's similar to the Virginia Tech game a couple of years ago when Pavia kind of put his stamp on Vanderbilt and said, hey, we're not the same old Vandy. I'm going to go with at Vandy. At noon. Give me NC State. Early game for Vandy. I believe in CJ Bailey. Vanderbilt, they didn't go with the 5-star. 5-star did not win the job in Nashville. They went with Belowitz. We'll see if Belowitz can put a stamp on Vanderbilt the same way Pavia did. But right now, I think NC State starts off 3-0. Then they have App State. I think they start off 4-0. Now Louisville will be a good game for those guys. Another good game for these guys. They beat Louisville. Now we're talking about a team that's top 25. Talking about a team that could possibly make the college football playoff with the remainder of their schedule. They beat Louisville. It's very favorable that they make it to the ACC championship. I'm gonna say they lose this one though. I'm gonna say 4-1. Wake Forest 5-1. Stanford 6-1. California at home. I'm gonna go NC State. Now they do have a game at 9:30 in Stanford, which is about if this is 9:30 Stanford time, that's what 3 hours ahead. That's about 12:30 NC State time. This game's gonna kick off. Give me Stanford in that one, actually. 1, 2. 10:30, 11:30, 12. Yeah. Give me Stanford in that one. So I gotta change their schedule. So 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2. I think they beat Cal at home. 6-2. Duke. I think they beat Duke. Unless I got another Darian Mensah that we don't know about at Duke. I think they beat Duke. 7-2. Syracuse. I think they beat Syracuse. 8-2. Florida State. That'll be interesting. You know, Florida State's a very hit or miss school. I'm gonna go with 8-3, and then UNC 9-3. 9-3. Maybe not this year, but next year could probably get them in the playoff. But they might be able to make it to the ACC championship with a 9-3 record. Very possible that happens. Jackson State or North Dakota State? We like it. I'm going to go with North Dakota State. More talented, more experience. They have championship experience on that roster. Even though it's not FBS experience. Championship experience, I got North Dakota State. Sacramento State or Eastern Michigan? I think Eastern Michigan wins this game. Sacramento State is a good team. They have good recruits. Eastern Michigan is home. I got Eastern Michigan. Hawaii, Stanford. I'm going to go Hawaii. Obviously, I'm a little biased towards Hawaii, but I'm going to go Hawaii. I like what we're doing at Hawaii. I like Alahado. I think Hawaii wins this game. Florida State or New Mexico State? I hope Florida State wins. I'm going to go with Florida State winning. But you never know. You never know with Florida State. And I'm going to go Florida State here. And then Memphis or UNLV in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas Valley. It's going to be a good game. That's a good game. Dan Mullen and those guys, UNLV. Give me Memphis. Night game at UNLV. Give me night game at UNLV. Give me UNLV. Give me UNLV to beat Memphis. So there we have our week 0 predictions. We have TCU over UNC, USC over San Jose State, North Carolina State over Virginia, North Dakota State over Jackson State, Eastern Michigan over Sacramento State, Hawaii over Stanford, Florida State over New Mexico State, and UNLV over Memphis. I feel bad turning on Memphis, but I have to. We'll see what my record is at the end of the year. I think I'm getting off to a good start, I think. think so. How do we feel about How do we feel about Kuminga to the Warriors? I mean, to Kuminga to the Timberwolves. Does this make the Timberwolves a legit contender? I think most people thought they were a contender already, and a legit contender already. But this beating the Thunder, beating the Spurs was still kind of far fetched. Could they now go into these series as possible favorites? Are they the favorite team now in the West? I mean, just from a talent perspective. All right. Are they the most talented team in the Western Conference? LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, Jonathan Kuminga, all top 3 picks. You have Rudy Gobert, multiple time Defensive Player of the Year, we know. Ayo Dosunmu had 40-point games in the playoffs last year. We all know what Jaden McDaniels is. It can be for that team. Dante DiVincenzo still on the roster. This is a good team. They can score. You know, Rudy Gobert, his job is to be a lot easier now with LaMelo in the ball. LaMelo might unlock him, and he might go for 14, 15, 16 a game. All right, that's possible. Catch 4 or 5 lobs. Run the floor. Anthony Edwards draw 2, kick it to him. He could easily score 16, 18 a game with LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. Give him the ball. They got a good team. They're going to play defense. We know Ant plays defense. We know Ayo plays defense. We know McDaniels plays defense. We know Rudy Gobert plays defense. Kuminga is athletic enough, and I think he's going to be able to. I think he's on a prove-it deal for sure. I think he's going to want to prove to teams that he's not only a scorer but that he can defend. I like what I'm seeing from the Timberwolves front office, from Alex Rodriguez and that ownership group. They want to win. They want to win. They want to win in Minnesota. They're proving to Anthony Edwards that we're going to give you rosters that can compete. They want to win. I'm not mad at it. A lot of small market teams aren't this brave. Aren't willing to go out and do the things that they've done. They signed Naz Reid to a big contract, and people were a little afraid that, maybe somebody had to go. Right? When they traded Karl-Anthony Towns on his max deal, they were like, oh my God, they're doing it again. Right? The small market teams are not small market teams are not a great place for people to win. But what they've done with the roster, I think you got to be excited about. If you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, if you're a small market fan in general. Detroit has to figure out what they're going to do with Jalen Duren. Reports are saying that both sides need each other, but both sides are not willing to budge, and the relationship between the sides is starting to become almost to a point of no return. Jalen Duren feels heavily disrespected by the Detroit Pistons front office. What are our thoughts, Jack? What are our thoughts? Yeah. Okay. Not mad at it. People think they need him back. Take him back. Okay. I don't know what the Pistons are doing. I've said this before. I don't know what the Pistons are doing. You have a talented roster. You have Cade Cunningham. Why are you trying to not only, dismantle a roster that just took you further than you've been in a long time, right? To the playoffs, to a 1 seed. Why are you dismantling that roster and in the process possibly turning Cade Cunningham off from the team? Cade Cunningham wants to play with talent. Jalen Duren, Montverde guy. Cade Cunningham, Montverde guy. You're obviously going to have a relationship. I don't get it. All NBA caliber player. Which is probably to you guys' detriment, right? Because now he's eligible for more money. But I understand he didn't perform the greatest in the playoffs. But Rudy Gobert didn't perform the greatest in the playoffs at all times, and teams still see how valuable he is in terms of defense, in terms of rebounding, in terms of having a interior presence. It's not just all about point production in the playoffs. It's about the little things. And you also bet on a guy to improve. Also bet on your coaching staff and your player development program to develop players. And the stuff that Jalen Duren wasn't that good at last year, I think is very easily fixable. Teach him some post moves. Run plays for him. Get him in the pick and roll. He's very agile for a big. Can jump well. Cade Cunningham is a probably one of the best passers in the game today. Make it happen. You need Jalen Duren back. Bring him in. Pay him the money. If you don't like his production, you can always trade. Somebody be willing to take Jalen Duren after coming off of an All-NBA caliber season. Still very young. Somebody will take. That's all for today's Lunchtime Pod. Thank you guys for tuning in. Another banger of an episode, right? See you guys.
What do you do, man? What do you do, man? She put down on Blanco, baby. I dropped her off, she gave me 3. I've been had this season, what you need for a fee, made myself a G.